threat to Americans, man? Is it the Arabs, the Muslim nations, Iran, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, any Muslim nation? Any of them? Are they the enemy? Are they the real threat? Or is our own governments the real threat? I think a lot of Americans should start asking themselves them questions, man. Because what you've been seeing in the news is, Trump and these government, they screaming at the top of their lungs how bad the Iranian government is and how they were slaughtering their own people. And let's just suppose that was true. Why do you care about the Iranian people when you don't even care about your own people in America, bro? That's disgusting. You got people over here sick, hungry, in debt, can't find jobs, don't have free health care, whole lot of stuff like that. Getting taxed out of oblivion. People over here getting shot down by cops in their own homes. You want to talk about, Trump wants to talk about Iranian people dying in protests, which we already proved, and that was a lie. The Iranian government didn't do that. But yeah, you had Sonia Massey get shot in her face by a cop on body cam. He ain't say one word about that. And this happened in America. That guy wasn't no Muslim. That cop wasn't no Muslim. So I'm trying to think, right? Who's the real threat to Americans, man? Last time I checked, ain't no Muslims passing no gun bans in Virginia, right? Besides that Bangladeshian dude, I don't approve of that crap either. He shouldn't even be allowed to be in Congress because he wasn't even born over here. Last time I checked, it wasn't the Arabs and the Muslim nations that said if you don't pay your property tax on your house, we're going to take your house. That's your local government doing that. Last time I checked, it wasn't the cops. It wasn't the Arabs pulling you over, giving you a speeding ticket for going 5 miles over the speed limit, man. So who's the real threat to you? It's kind of like a psych. It's like a mind rape. They lead you to believe that those people over there are your enemy. They're the threats to take your focus off what they doing to you. And you got to be absolutely, your brain got to be absolutely fried to fall for stuff like that. But people fall for it. You got people right now sitting at home cheering because they think Iran is a threat to us, right? They're cheering for their destruction. Meanwhile, the IRS is in this country. They don't even belong here. They're criminal. You don't see people complaining about them stealing money from you every time you get paid. And you get nothing in return. And don't you find it kind of strange how they extract your money and you okay with them taking your money to fund blowing up them people? That's crazy. So who is the real threat? When I look around, I don't see no Muslims bothering me. My whole life, I've never been bothered by no Arabs, no Muslims, man. Oklahoma City bombing, was that a Muslim? Y'all think 9/11 was orchestrated just by Muslims with box cutters? Y'all really think that? Y'all think that Iran has the capability to send drones from across the Pacific Ocean and hit California? So if that actually did happen, you really think y'all gonna really believe Iran? It's easy to believe the lie, though. I think it's come to the point where it's easy for an American to believe the lies than it is to believe the truth. Because they can't deal with the truth. They can't handle it. So it's easier for them to accept the lie. Because they can do something about the lie, right? They can shun the lie, but they can't fight against the evil that is the truth of why they are suppressed. They can't do nothing about it. Right? Let's, a quick example. Let's just say a couple of Arabs came over here and tried to extort you. Like knocked on your door with guns and told you, you're going to pay us this every month or you're going to jail. Americans would go crazy and, oh man, we got to get rid of them, just blow them to smithereens, just take them out. But then your own government will come knock on your door, try to take you to jail over money. Oh, you gotta, it's just the way it is. Got to pay those taxes. You see what I'm saying? See how effed up that is? You see how that's a sickness, man. But you expect me to believe these dudes thousands and thousands of miles away is a bigger threat to me when they don't write laws to oppress me. They're supposed to be the freest country in the world, but I can't bring my gun inside New York City without getting a permit or jumping through hurdles. Finally now, in supposedly a free country, finally you able to obtain a New York City gun permit. And I don't even agree with permits. If we so free, how come we can't? How come we got to pay property tax on stuff that's supposed to be ours? And if you stop paying on your house property tax, they take your house. The county does that. It's not even a federal or the state doing that. That's your county that you live in able to confiscate your house from you if you don't pay them. You don't keep paying them fees for your own home because you're renting the land that your house sits on. Ain't that something? So you never really own anything in America, but you want to talk to me about freedoms? Why the military not over here helping us get free from this stuff? All you hear is the government up there talking about they hope the Iranian people overthrow their regime. Who's going to help us if we ever had to take over and replace our regime and put in a new one? Who's going to help us do that if we ever had to do that? So every regime, every other country regime on earth is bad except this one, right? North Korea is bad. China is bad. Russia is bad. Iran is bad. Iraq is bad. Afghanistan. All these countries. Venezuela got a bad regime. America? Nope. America ain't got no bad regime. Every country in its own right is oppressive to their people, man. They just do it in different ways, bro. United States they've just been real good at masking it with comfort. Now that veil is being lifted now. Now people are starting to see what it really is and seeing everything for its true colors now. That's what's going on. You ain't never gonna get me to believe that them dudes across thousands of miles away is the enemy. Nah. I've never had an Arab put a gun to my head. I had cops do that though. I never had an Arab slam me up when I was handcuffed as a teenager. I never had that happen to me by an Arab. I'm sure it happens to people in Iran all the time by their government. But don't act like it don't happen over here. Don't justify it happening here, but then want to claim you feel sorry for those people over there. That's not how it works, bro. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, let me know what you think. Who's the greater threat to Americans, man? Is it our own government or is it the governments of other countries, man? You tell me. This is Rebel World News. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Y'all stay safe.